All right, that has been a month and a half since our 6,000 gallon tank has arrived here at the house in the garage. Now it's time to go move these exotic big fishes to that tank. So we're gonna go by draining the tank first and then start scooping. Let's do it. I'm pretty sure this pacu is bigger than this net. So we have to figure out a way how we're gonna do it. But let's start with the small ones first. I mean, small but not small. Let's see what I can do. Look how big he is. Ah! Bro, this fish is about 20 pounds. I'm not even kidding. I'm completely soaked already. That is great. That's not even the biggest fish. Bro, I'm completely soaked. Let's see if this one gives me the same fight or less of a fight. Bro, you're gonna kill yourself. Oh! Oh, what did I just witness? Bro, what the heck? Just come here, you're going to a bigger place. Yo, don't go over there, go, come this way, please. Oh my God, these fish are so freaking cute. Oh my God. I mean, look how cool they look though. All right, let's add them to the 6,000 gallon tank. Oh. Wow, that's super cool. What a big fight. Check this out. He bended the whole net. This one is my oldest pacu, and he's about 25 to 30 pounds for sure. Ah! That is a big boy. Oh my God. Bro, look at the net. Look at the net. Check this out. But look at this. He abandoned my net. I told you he's 20 to 30 pounds. That fish is amazing. One of my favorite species in the fish hobby. I love it. All right, so this is one of my favorite catfish right here. Look at that bad boy. Look how nice his patterns are. All right, let's take him to the big tank. So I had this hybrid red tail catfish since he was 2.5 inches big. So now he's about, I'll say he's about 12 to 15 inches. No, I'll say he's more like 18 to 20. He's huge. And now we're gonna take him to his forever home. Oh, the pacu's already eating, look! The albino pacu is already eating! Look at that! He is already eating, and he wasn't even moved no longer than 15 minutes ago. Check that out. That is wild. I just threw a couple of food in there so they can keep the aggressiveness down. You know, I don't want them to be aggressive towards anything new coming to the tank. Oh, whoa! What was that? This is my biggest red tail catfish that I have. Are you listening to that? He's barking. It's close to the 25, 30 pounds. 100%. Bro, that's a big monster fish. This is crazy. This was a dream, and it's becoming reality now. I rescued this fish from Premier Aquatics. Maggie called me, and she told me, hey, I have one of the exotic fishes you like. So I went and rescued him. So these two last catfishes we have to move are rescued also from the same store. And I mean, this guy was like, I'll say 12 inches. All right, that was the last catfish going into the 6,000 gallon tank. Look at this. How many exotic monster fishes I have. This was a dream come true, so here they are. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy them every single day. All right, so now it's time to add C-cam stability, because we are still cycling this tank for about 2.5 weeks now, but we're gonna keep cycling it for at least a month. Tomorrow, Infinity Aquariums are gonna come here to install our UV and our cartridge filters so we can make this tank look absolutely clear, crystal clear water. So let's add stability and prime. We need about 1,500 milliliter of stability daily. All right. Stability is added to the tank, C-cam safe. So every scoop is 1,200, 2,400, 3,600, 4,800, and then last scoop for 6,000. Boom.
What's up, Ozzie? Look at you and your Snuggie.
Oh, hell yes. How you doing, man?
Why are you dressed like that? You think it's cold?
It's way too cold for
You
me.
think it's cold?
Oh, way too cold for me.
Oh my
What's in there?
gosh.
What's in there?
Some monsters.
I see some puppies in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Wow. It's quiet, Ozzie. The fish look really healthy.
Yeah.
And the water temp's holding up in this kind of weather?
And the heater is off.
No kidding.
I've been running without the heater for like a week.
And it
It
stays...
stayed at 77, 76.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Did you? How big were those Pangasius when you started?
No
Come
kidding.
on.
I have a video. I'll show you. Getting ready for 2025 so we can go have a great season. I like that sound. Just as you guys saw, another part of my day, getting ready for the season. Because of switch hitting, I gotta do the same amount each side. So I'll say 70 and 70 to 100 to 100 each side. So about 150 swings a day. We'll say average, yeah. And I'm doing this from Monday through Friday every single week to get ready and be the best shape possible.
So what's really interesting is to watch Ozzie's face, his reaction. The way he was looking at it was like a kid with a brand new toy, and it just dawned on me, every tank that he's had up to this point has been glass. This is his first all acrylic tank, so he's kind of looking at it like that brand new toy that he's never had. One of the beauties about acrylic tanks is that their seams are a chemical bond. When you have a glass tank, it's a mechanical bond of frame and then silicone. Here, if you see the way the joints are prepared, they're bonded together with obviously a special epoxy. And I've seen tanks, acrylic tanks that have actually given out in the middle of the panel and not the seam. That's how strong they are.
See like a faint line where the seam is.
Oh my God.
No bubbles.
No bubbles, no nothing. This is wild. Nick, I'm gonna fill it up and go for a swim in that one too. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Everything looks smooth. We just take inch by inch here. We always take it inch by inch because if you try to rush this kind of stuff, you end up with problems. But the goal is to get this tank on the stand, and this will sit here then till tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna plumb this. And the goal for tonight is to finish the big tank. Filtration, UV sterilization, aeration, mood lighting, all that good stuff. I think if you want to bring it all the way as close to the wall as you can, then do one more three-point turn. It doesn't have to be perfectly lined up with the stand. As long as we got the majority of it, we can shift it. Okay, you're good, Chris. So we usually say this is our secret sauce here, but this is just your basic dish soap, and it puts like a layer of grease onto the stand so we can push this 1,000-pound tank on there really fairly easily, and then the wood just soaks it up over time. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh! So, in all of our stands, we always put a drip tray. Just in case anything drips, we want to collect all the water. We usually put a leak sensor in these trays as well, so they can alert us if we have any water where it's not supposed to be. But these little acrylic pieces act like cross braces, so we can put, 500-600 pounds of filtration within this stand and not snap the drip tray. Good thing I had my shirt on.
That's freaking awesome. Oh my God, this tank looks crazy. This is a fish tank.
Yeah, man. I love how this is your little fish tank.
You know what I'm feeling right now? I was just telling Taylor. I might just make this marijuana thing.
It doesn't even hit the bottom. So cool. So here we are. It looks like we're in the final chapter of this big plumbing marathon. What you see here took us 4 days. But essentially, this is what's running our 6,000 gallon tank on the inside of the garage. There were so many things we wanted to make sure we achieved when we designed this. Number one, we didn't want it to be overly loud, especially out here because the neighbors, we don't need them to hear it. And then at the same time, we need to be heavily efficient because Ozzie puts so many fish in that tank and feeds them so abundantly. So we're removing a lot of waste, a lot of uneaten food, and then we got to make sure we stay on top of those organics, anything that spikes as a result of that. So there's a couple of key considerations. Number one, we're big turnover guys. We like to turn our tanks over as many times as we can. So the tank being about 6,000 gallons, the flow rate through one of these beaded filters is 6,500 gallons per hour. So if we just had one, we would barely turn that tank over one time per hour, and we're more about the multiples. So we put 2 beaded filters on here, each getting 6,500 gallons per hour, which turns the tank over a little more than 2 times per hour. Plus, we have a high level of redundancy, which is important in any ecosystem in the aquarium hobby, whether it's saltwater, freshwater, living reef, planted tank. If you have a backup on your main system in some way, shape, or form, then you never have to truly worry about a total loss if a pump goes out or if a filter clogs or something. So we have 2 identical filter systems with these beaded media filters. So not only is it filtering the water at a high capacity, it's also a backup in case one pump were to go out. Individually, these filters can sustain this aquarium for a long time by itself. On top of that, we have a 3rd supplemental filtration system with an additional 3 horsepower pump with these 2 large cartridge filters. This tall one here is just a pleated cartridge filter. Its sole purpose is to mechanically filter the water. So it pulls out fine particulate, debris, uneaten food, and essentially just acts as a pure water polisher. In here is a 100 square foot capacity chemical media chamber. So think of this as a large chemical media reactor. What do we put in here? We can put phosphate remover like a Seachem Phosguard. We're going to heavily pack this with Seachem Purigen, which is a really great media to clarify the water and remove organics. It's one of the best chemical medias on the market. You could also flood this with pellet carbon, anything to polish that water. So after the water gets mechanically filtered, it goes through this chemical media filter and really helps for clarification, clarity, and just pure water polishing. From there, we have a 240 watt UV sterilizer. This is more than enough for our 6,000 gallon aquarium. We change these bulbs about once every 9 months. It's a little more than the manufacturer suggests, but we like to keep those UVs really powerful to eliminate any, obviously, parasites or if there's any sort of infection that we need to address, and then obviously free-floating algae to keep that water nice and clear as well. From there, Goes through a flow switch, just in case we lose power. We don't want this UV cooking all that PVC pipe, and then back up to our tank. So we have 3 intakes, 3 return lines, and then this little line here, that's just for a real big, high-powered air pump that puts plenty of aeration in those 2 diffusers that you see in the back of the tank. I should also mention that we have an overkill in heat. We're in Atlanta. I got my jacket on today. It's probably around 45, 50 degrees, but it easily gets down into the teens, sometimes single digits here. And we need to keep that aquarium at about 80 degrees, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So we have 2 high-powered heaters. One is 18 kilowatts, so that's 18,000 watts. The backup is 11,000 watts. Together, those heaters could power, close to, let's call it 40,000 gallons, which is way more than we have here, but we want them to be really efficient and really reliable. So again, we have redundancy. In case one goes out, the other one backs it up. And the single 18,000 kilowatt can do more than enough by itself, but we have our tried and true backup if we need it. These heaters together pull over 80 amps of power. So we have a 150 amp panel just for these heaters. This entire system, if we're up and running everything, we'd be well over 150 amps, which is a ton of power. But that's what it takes when you get into really big systems. I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, we did a full architectural rendering of this wall before we began, so we could show Ozzie what we had in our head, what our vision was. And now looking at it today, other than a few things being moved in different spots than we had initially anticipated, it looks almost identical to what the vision was before we even ordered our first filter. So I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of Joe. He gets the credit for most of this plumbing. All of my work was on the inside, and I know Ozzie's happy, which is the most important thing. So I have a feeling that this is not the last time we'll see Mr. Albies. If he continues to hit a lot of home runs, I think there will be a lot more aquariums in all of our futures. He's a really good dude, and I'm happy that we got to help him achieve his dream of owning a really big aquarium.
Actually got to shout out a couple of people in this project. Definitely my wife Andrea, she's the one that went through getting quotes and ideas about getting me this fish tank. And then Donnie for fixing what had to be fixed. I'm not gonna go deep into details. Thank you. So I choose Infinity Aquariums because everything they do is so highly detailed that I couldn't choose the other option. I saw the work they done on the 6,000 gallon. I got myself a quarantine tank that's 600 gallon. It's sitting right on the left of me. I mean, the work is just super amazing. Last but not least, I want to thank everybody that has made my dream become reality.